Imagine your life is a story. It's written in a book, and you are the author, filling the pages with your experiences every single day. Now, what if I told you that this book wasn't entirely blank when you started? What if some chapters were already sketched out, not by you, but by your parents, your grandparents, and all the ancestors who came before them? This is the core idea behind genetic memory. It's the fascinating, almost science fiction concept that experiences and information can be passed down through generations, not through teaching or culture, but encoded directly into our DNA. It's a biological inheritance of knowledge, a whisper from the past carried within our very cells. Think of your DNA as the ultimate instruction manual for building and operating a human being. It contains the code for your eye color, your height, and how your body functions. But some scientists now believe it might hold much more than just physical blueprints. The theory of genetic memory suggests that this code can also carry non-physical traits, like instincts, predispositions, and even deeply ingrained fears. It's as if significant events in your ancestors' lives left a faint mark, a biological note in the margin of your genetic code. This note doesn't dictate your story, but it might influence the direction your narrative takes, nudging you in ways you're not even aware of. This isn't about inheriting a specific memory, like your great-grandfather's 10th birthday party. It's more subtle. It's about inheriting an experience. For example, if a generation of your ancestors faced a prolonged period of famine, they might pass down a genetic tendency to store fat more efficiently. This isn't a conscious memory of hunger, but a biological adaptation born from that struggle. Genetic memory operates on this deeper, more instinctual level. It's a set of pre-installed programs that helped our forebears survive, running quietly in the background of our modern lives, shaping our responses to the world around us. So, how does this work? The field of epigenetics offers a compelling explanation. Epigenetics is like a layer of software that sits on top of your DNA hardware. It doesn't change the DNA code itself, but it can turn certain genes on or off. Think of it as highlighting certain sentences in your instruction manual, making them more or less likely to be read. Traumatic events, profound fears, or significant environmental shifts could create these epigenetic tags. These tags can then, under certain circumstances, be passed down to the next generation, pre-tuning their biological and behavioral responses before they've even taken their first breath. The animal kingdom provides some of the most compelling evidence for genetic memory. We see it everywhere in behaviors so complex they seem impossible to be learned in a single lifetime. Consider the epic journey of the monarch butterfly. Each year, these delicate creatures migrate thousands of miles from Canada and the United States down to a specific forest in Mexico. The incredible part is that the butterflies that start the journey north in the spring are several generations removed from the ones that made the trip south the previous fall. There are no older butterflies to guide them, no maps to follow. So how do they know where to go? The flight path is an inherited instinct, a form of genetic memory. The specific direction, the duration of flight, and the destination are all part of a pre-programmed script written into their DNA. It's a magnificent example of nature passing down critical survival information across generations. This isn't learned behavior. It's a deep ancestral knowledge that allows the species to endure. Each butterfly is born with a cosmic compass, its needle set by ancestors it never met, pointing the way to a home it has never seen. It's a testament to the power of information embedded within life itself. We see another powerful example in laboratory studies with mice. In one famous experiment, scientists exposed a generation of mice to the scent of cherry blossoms, while simultaneously giving them a mild, harmless electric shock. Naturally, the mice learned to fear the smell. They would become anxious and freeze whenever they detected it. The truly mind-bending discovery was what happened to their offspring. The next generation of mice, who had never been shocked or even exposed to the scent before, showed a heightened fear and sensitivity specifically to the smell of cherry blossoms. Their brains even had more neurons dedicated to detecting that particular scent. This suggests that the fear was passed down biologically. The trauma of the parents left an epigenetic mark that was inherited by their children, pre-wiring them to be cautious of a specific threat they had never personally encountered. This is genetic memory in action, a warning sent across time from one generation to the next. It's a survival mechanism, ensuring that the lessons learned by one generation aren't lost, but are instead woven into the very fabric of their descendants. It's a biological inheritance of caution, a ghost of a fear that continues to protect long after the original danger is gone. Now, let's turn the lens from the animal kingdom back to ourselves. Do humans also carry these ancestral echoes? The idea is more controversial here, but the evidence is mounting. Think about common phobias. Why are so many people terrified of snakes and spiders, even if they've never had a negative encounter with one? A fear of heights, known as acrophobia, is also incredibly widespread. One explanation is that these aren't just learned fears, but are remnants of a genetic memory, passed down from our ancient ancestors, for whom these things represented a very real and present danger. For millions of years, our primate and early human ancestors lived in environments where a venomous snake, a poisonous spider, or a fall from a high place could mean instant death. Those who had a built-in instinctual caution, a rapid, fearful response to these threats, were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. This predisposition to fear certain things may have become embedded in our collective DNA. So that jolt of panic you feel when you see a snake slither across a path might not just be your own fear. It could be the echo of a million years of survival, a warning from countless ancestors whispering, "Be careful, this is dangerous." This concept extends beyond fears to our talents and abilities. Have you ever known someone who seems to be a natural at something, picking up a musical instrument or a new language with astonishing ease? While practice is always crucial, genetic memory could play a role. If you come from a long line of musicians, is it possible you've inherited more than just a cultural appreciation for music? Could you have inherited a neurological predisposition, a brain that is already wired to better understand rhythm, pitch, and harmony? It's a tantalizing possibility that our aptitudes are not just a matter of personal effort, but are also shaped by the passions and skills of those who came before us. Real-life stories often hint at this connection. Consider the savant phenomenon, where individuals with developmental disorders display extraordinary abilities in a specific area, like art, music, or mathematics, without any formal training. While the mechanisms are still a mystery, some wonder if this could be an extreme manifestation of genetic memory, where a set of complex skills, honed over generations, is suddenly and fully unlocked in an individual. These are the frontiers of our understanding, where the lines between learned skill and inherited talent become beautifully blurred, suggesting our lives are a collaboration between our own efforts and the legacy written in our genes. Understanding genetic memory isn't just an academic exercise, it has profound implications for how we live our lives today. It reframes our understanding of who we are. We are not blank slates, we are living tapestries, woven with threads from countless lives that came before us. Your anxieties, your strengths, and your intuitive reactions might have roots that go deeper than your own personal history. This knowledge can foster a sense of empathy, both for ourselves and for others. The person struggling with anxiety might not just be dealing with their own stress, but with the inherited echoes of ancestral trauma. This perspective could revolutionize medicine and mental health. If we can identify the epigenetic marks left by trauma, we might be able to develop therapies that target them directly, helping to heal wounds that are generations deep. This is particularly relevant when we think about large-scale historical traumas, like war, slavery, or famine, which have affected entire populations. The concept of intergenerational trauma suggests that the stress and hardship endured by one generation can have measurable health and behavioral consequences for their descendants. Recognizing this biological link is the first step toward breaking these cycles and fostering healing on a societal level. Furthermore, acknowledging our inherited strengths can be incredibly empowering. That feeling of being called to a certain profession or passion, that sense of intuition that guides your decisions, these could be whispers from your genetic past. It encourages us to listen to our inner selves, to explore the talents that come naturally to us, as they may be gifts passed down through our lineage. It connects us to our heritage in a deep and biological way, making our family history not just a collection of stories, but a living, breathing part of who we are. It suggests that by pursuing our passions, we might be honoring the legacy of our ancestors. Ultimately, the science of genetic memory invites us to see ourselves as part of a much larger story. It is a humbling and awe-inspiring thought. You carry within you the resilience of ancestors who survived ice ages, the caution of those who avoided predators, and perhaps even the creativity of those who first painted on cave walls. It connects every one of us to the grand, unfolding epic of life on Earth. Knowing this doesn't diminish our individuality. It enriches it. It means that you are not just you. You are a living library of human history, a bridge between the past and the future, carrying ancient wisdom forward into the world.